Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2025 related video here on my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the dark horses of the 2025 edition of the Eurovision Song Contest, which, as we all know, will take place in a few weeks' time now in Basel, Switzerland. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So, of course, we have dark horses / underrated gems every year. These are tunes that may end up doing better than we all expect several weeks before the live shows, songs that might do better in the results than the betting odds currently suggest, and songs that maybe aren't necessarily going to challenge for the win, but still might get quite a bit of love, whether that's from the juries, from the public, or indeed the juries and the public. So I've gone through this year's lineup and selected a few songs that I'm going to talk about a little bit, songs that I consider to be, at this moment in time, several weeks before the live shows, dark horses. So here we go. The first song I'm going to talk about is Portugal's entry. This is from semi-final 1, Deslocado by Napa, an all-male group. They've been making music for over a decade. This is by far their biggest hit in their career thus far. Diogo, Francisco, João, and João. They won FDC in March. This is clearly a song that resonates with a lot of Portuguese people. I'm reading to you from what it says in front of me. The song was described as a nod to the band origins, them being composed of Madeirans living displaced in mainland Portugal. This is one of the most important songs we've ever done, highlights the band itself. They further added, we always wanted to portray that feeling of being displaced, of being an ocean away from home. The song also speaks of the longing of Madeiran students who leave the island to go and study abroad. The drummer of the group also said that the song is dedicated to all Portuguese emigrants who had to leave the country to have a better life instead of just surviving in Portugal. This song has gone to #1 in their homeland, and because of the lyrical content, I think a lot of Portuguese people just resonated with the message of this track. Taking a look briefly at the English translation of some of the lyrics, whether this is completely accurate or not, I don't know, but it says, I count the days for myself with my suitcase packed. There was almost no space left for the longing I had carried. From the blue I see the garden right behind the wing. Mother, look out the window. I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. And then in the chorus, no matter how it may seem, I'll never belong in that city, the sea of people, a different sun, the pile of concrete. It doesn't move me. It doesn't feel like home. There's a real sense of homesickness to this track, to the lyrical content of this piece, and I think that's something that a lot of people can resonate with, whether you are Portuguese or not. Now, whether first-time listeners in May can understand the message of this track and what it's trying to convey remains to be seen. So I do hope people do look up the translation of the lyrics when the contest is upon us. I've written here, the song itself, I've said this in previous videos, it's very gentle, languid, it feels like a cool breeze on a summer's day, almost indie in terms of its sound. I can't imagine the staging at Eurovision is going to be too different from what we had at FDC, but I am hoping there's a little sprinkling of magic somehow to make it truly stand out from the field. Because there's no doubt about it, it's a breath of fresh air, but at the same time, people might just forget about it. They might be bored by it. So it's got to have that little something, that little sparkle, that little dusting of charm. And that might help this song connect with a lot of people. Who knows? I just think this is a really nice track. The guitar riff at the end is fairly nice as well. It's just a very beautiful track. I just don't know whether it has staying power, whether people are really going to remember this enough once the performance is over and done with in Basel in the first semi-final several weeks from now. But it's a dark horse because a lot of people are enjoying this, and I feel as though it does have a little bit of momentum at this moment in time, and momentum is key towards the end of April into early May when it comes to Eurovision. And if the momentum builds up more and more for this track, then Portugal will make the final yet again and continue this good run of making finals at Eurovision. Anyway, Portugal, it is a dark horse. Next up, dark horse number 2 is going to be Latvia. This is Burman Laimi by the all-female group Tautumeitas. This song translates as Bring Me Happiness, which is interesting because Latvia's entry in 2004 was called Dziesmo par Laimi, which I think means song about happiness, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, this track is sounding as though it's come from another planet. It is completely unlike anything else this year, which is great. It's in Latvian too, which is wonderful. It sounds very different from anything this country has had at Eurovision before, which is very welcome. It is its own thing. It stands out because it is so different and so refreshing. This is a folky, otherworldly, ethereal, dreamy, just wonderful, mellifluous track. My concern is that first-time listeners will find it a bit too bizarre and therefore the votes won't come in. And also it does become a little bit repetitive. It maybe runs out of steam a little bit in the final third. But this is a really minor thing because on the whole there is something very captivating about this track. It feels cultish but not in a really creepy manner. So let's take a look at the English translation of these lyrics very briefly. It is definitely a bit repetitive, as I just said. Curses and hexes, never can they ruin me. And that's repeated several times. And then in the chorus, others are making a bridge of steel. I'm helping an oak to grow. The bridge of steel turns to rust. My oak grows evergreen. It's a song that's filled with nature, shall we say. It's a very optimistic, sort of hopeful tune. I like it very much. I use that word refreshing because I believe this song absolutely is. Latvia qualified against the odds last year with a very different track, arguably a more basic effort. Can Latvia do the business this year with something that feels as though it's a bit more of a risk? I don't know. It really depends on those first-time listeners and viewers. Will they find this strangely creepy, too unusual, or are they going to find this really beautiful and really delightful to listen to? Because it is quite a delightful track. I don't know. Is there anything else to say about this song? I don't think so. It has charted at number 18 in Latvia. It seems that way. Oh well, there we are. That is the Latvian track. Bring Me Happiness, Burman Laimi. A bit of a dark horse. Might do better than we all expect. If this makes the final, it will be interesting to see how the juries respond to this tune. Because sometimes they really appreciate, music that isn't straightforward pop. We know this. And sometimes they completely shun anything that's a little bit out of the ordinary. So who knows? Latvia is a dark horse. Next up is a song that I have to say I am quite surprised we aren't talking about this song being a contender to win. I listened to it again earlier on today and I thought to myself, wow, this sounds like it should be right up there challenging for victory, and yet nobody's expecting it to do that, and I'm curious as to why that's the case. Is it too boring? Is it a song that doesn't really build up to much? I don't know. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on Greece's entry, Asteromata, which translates roughly as starry-eyed girl. This is performed by Klavdia, a beautiful woman in glasses. She's 22, from Aspropyrgos, a western suburb of Athens. She is of Pontic descent, and she auditioned for the 5th season of Greece's Got Talent, performing Michael Jackson's song Billie Jean at the age of 15. She was also on The Voice of Greece, and she was in contention to represent her country 2 years ago in Liverpool, but for some reason the Greek broadcaster opted for Victor Vernikos, and we all know how well he did in the end. Anyway, this song has gone platinum in her homeland. Fantastic. As it says in front of me, the song talks about Greek and other refugees and that special bond between them and their homeland, which they never forgot wherever they are. A metaphorical dialogue is being formed between a mother and her missing child, which comforts her and vice versa. In an interview, Klavdia, who is of Pontic Greek descent, explained that the message of the song intends to honour those who were forced to abandon their homeland, transmitting a message of hope and resilience. So there are some similarities here with what the Portuguese song is getting at, which is very interesting. I think this is a really splendid ballad, a really splendid effort, and there's no way this song should be finishing below 15th in the final, if you ask me. I'd be really surprised if that happened. Anyway, I've written here, it is emotional, it is beautiful, slightly haunting. The chorus packs a little bit more of a punch than the verses. Maybe it takes a little while to get going, this song, which you might consider a bit of a shame. But this is a really minor thing. The instrumentation, particularly towards the end, is just really wonderful. I'm loving that. That is a real strength of this song. I don't think Klavdia has been at any of the pre-parties yet. I'm not sure there's many more events to go, if any at all. So I don't really know what to expect with the live performance. But like with Portugal, this has to have a little something to make it stand out enough. Otherwise, it's just going to go over people's heads, and it won't live long in the memory. There's got to be something about the staging. The message of this song has to be conveyed somehow. And how you achieve that, I just don't know. Taking a look at the lyrics a little bit, my little starry-eyed girl, turn so I can kiss you, so I can extinguish my lips in your holy tears. Wow, this song is one of the best written tracks this year. Poetic lyrics. My little starry-eyed girl, turn to me so I can catch you and rest my forgotten wings. Ah, my star, my treasure, my sweet mum, don't you cry. My life is a boat that looks for a way back, and the wind is my sail. Oh, really gorgeous lyrics. And again, I hope anybody who gives enough of a damn looks at the English translation, because it's just really wonderfully written. And it's a song that builds up and builds up, and I think it has a relatively satisfying payoff. It's a dark horse galloping in. Greece, lovely, absolutely should be in the final, doing well for itself. The next song I'm going to talk about is Lithuania's effort, Tavo Akis, Your Eyes, performed by the group Catharsis. They're from Vilnius, they've been making music since 2019. Lucas, Emilia, Alanas and Jokubas, all of whom were born in 1999 onwards. They've released one album. This song has gone to #1 in their homeland. This is a very moody, atmospheric, almost depressing, heavy sounding song. Again, very much unlike anything that any other country is bringing to the table this year. So in the sense of, Latvia and Lithuania, they're doing the same thing. They're bringing something that is its own thing. It really stands out from the field. Whether first-time listeners find this a little bit too heavy remains to be seen. But this song, this really does build up. It starts off in quite simplistic fashion, and I use that word atmospheric because it really is. It feels cinematic, as though it should be in some sort of big drama show, like The Last of Us or something, because it really gives off that feeling. I've written here, dark, atmospheric, cinematic, very cathartic, the way it builds up this sort of frantic finale, this anger that you can really feel coming through when you listen to the live version and the studio cut. Again, maybe a little bit repetitive, which some people might view as a flaw, but it's a fairly minor thing. I think this is a very accomplished alt-rock song. Looking a little bit at the translation of the lyrics, your eyes see only pain, a feeling meant for my eyes only, and that is repeated many, many times. Yeah, it's a very, I don't want to use the word special, but it feels to me like a very accomplished, polished, very mature sounding song. And I like it very much. I just haven't ranked it very highly in my top 37 of the year. But chances are it is going to grow on me. And that performance at the Lithuanian national final was pretty strong. Take what you have, stick it on the Eurovision stage, elevate it. It could be a real moment. I'm not sure Lithuania are going to get a great result this year, but I can see this in the final, and it is a bit of a dark horse. We move on to something totally different, one of the jauntiest efforts this year. Luxembourg. La poupée monte le son, the doll ramps up the sound. This is by Laura Thorne, and this is essentially a tribute to Luxembourg's winning entry in 1965, written by Serge Gainsbourg, France Gall's Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son, wax doll, singing doll. We have had the revamp that came out in mid-March. Laura was born at the end of, well, either 1999 or 2000, so who knows. She is a teacher as well as a singer, trained in music theory, piano, cello, keyboard, and chamber music and dance. So get a load of that. This song, Laura Thorne has said, a doll is controlled by someone. The one I sing about no longer lets itself be done, referring to an opposite approach to France Gall's song. In an interview with ESC Bubble, Thorne further said, I love the fact that there's this connection with France's song, especially because it won Eurovision exactly 60 years ago. I think I said 50 years ago in a previous video. It's 60 years. So I thought that's such a great idea to really honour Luxembourg and its history with Eurovision. And this is a very, very sweet song, perhaps too sweet for some tastes. But I really like it. It's in my top 10 of the year. That would not be the case in a stronger year, it's worth saying. Jaunty, charming, playful. I've said it so many times before on my channel. Charming songs really can do exactly that, charm people, and the votes can pour in as a result. We sort of saw it with Denmark in 2019, and there's been other examples over the years as well. I'm not saying that will happen with Luxembourg this year, but you never know. It's a bit of a dark horse, because semi-final 2 is very open. It's a very difficult semi-final to predict the results for. And I'm looking at Luxembourg, and I'm just thinking, wow, on the one hand, this could sail through, and on the other hand, this could really struggle. There's sort of no in-between. I'm really on the fence with it. But Luxembourg did very well last year. Much better than I think we all expected. So that's got me thinking about this year's effort from the same country. Yada, 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 I'm starting to ramble. What else have I written here? There is a sort of costume change thing going on towards the end of this track, which I think we will get at Eurovision. Maybe the ending of this song isn't terribly satisfying. You know, maybe it needs a bit more of an explosive finale or a more dynamic finale somehow. Nevertheless, it's got a good momentum. The nod to a previous Eurovision winner is very nice. Taking a look at the English translation, what does it say here? If all you see in me is a perfect doll who smiles and then shuts up when you want her to, forget me, I am not your puppet. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Your little game is over. If you think a man like you can manipulate me, go back to mummy. You'd better give up, or else I'm the one who will dismantle you. Beware, beware, because I'm taking the controls. It's a sort of getting your own back sort of song. So there is some power and diva-ish energy, I suppose, to the lyrics. Anyway, that's Luxembourg. A little bit of a dark horse. Might do better than we all expect. There's two more songs that I'm going to talk about. And first up is going to be Switzerland's entry. Out of the final two, Switzerland first. This is, of course, the host nation, an automatic qualifier as a result. This is performed by Zoe May, and she will sing this song 19th in the grand final on May the 17th. She's 24, from Basel. I wonder when the last time was that the host nation's representative was from the city staging the contest. I've no idea the last time it happened. Anyway, this is just a tremendous ballad. Very tender, super simplistic. We've got a few brassy sounds in the background, but they're not overpowering. Some strings, the plucking of strings at the start. It's just so reserved, very intimate, and I hope that intimate feeling comes across on the Eurovision stage, because in such an expressive year, some people might just think this is a real palate cleanser, something that is just so wrapped up in itself, if you see what I mean. Really sublime. I've written here, very precious, very hopeful. Why is this not considered a contender to win? Because it's too dull? Because it's a ballad? I've no idea. This should really be up there, particularly in the jury vote. My God, this could do incredibly well. I don't see any reason why not. We have this brief moment of drama about 2 minutes in, where it feels as though everything's going wrong, maybe, and then it feels more light and hopeful again. I just think this is a really strong host nation entry. Taking a look a little bit at the translation of the lyrics, what have we got here? So many times, if you want, I'll go with you on a journey. Go on a journey, go on a journey with you. Let me love you even if you don't. I'll drown in your tears, I'll share your melancholy. You eat me up with your gaze. No matter what, I'll never stop singing to you. It feels to me as though this song is essentially somebody saying, you can say all these things to me, you can push me away, but I'm always going to be with you. I'm always going to be by your side, and I am willing to go on a journey with you. Very beautiful. One day you'll understand that flowers are more beautiful when you water them. Really, really nice. The music video is super simple, but fairly effective as well. I have nothing more to say about this. I just think it's a splendid entry. That leaves one more song, and oh boy, every time I hear this I think, my God, what a damn fine track it is. Italy. Oh yes. This is, of course, Volevo essere un duro. I wanted to be a tough guy, performed by Lucio Corsi. He did not win Sanremo, he was the runner-up, and then he was chosen by the broadcaster to fly the flag for the Italians after Ollie declined. Lucio, who has a very distinct look, is younger than me. Born in October 1993 from Tuscany, moved to Milan to pursue a music career after graduation, released 4 albums, including one that came out last month, which charted at number 1, by far his most successful album to date. In an interview, Lucio explained the album's meaning. The title is I Wanted to Be a Tough Guy. Many of the stories on the album relate to the past, to adolescence. They are stories lived by me or by friends or by others or by people I have invented. Reinventing the past is something magical. The future is surprising. The past, in theory, is not, because we have already lived it. That's why, if we reinterpret it, it can surprise just like tomorrow. It can have the same effect and allows us to create another personal story. I am very fond of songs with protagonists who are unique characters. Their stories, in fact, may be small, but they contain an epic that deserves to be told and that is sometimes more interesting than those of great events. This has grown on me like the world's biggest veruca. It is honestly such a wonderful piece of music. It feels vintage, old school, classic. I am all over it like a damn rash. I'm not loving it, but I just think this is so great. I understand why people aren't liking it, because we are so used to Italy sending something capable of finishing in the top 5, if not the top 3, every year. And this year we have an Italian entry that maybe isn't the most competitive, maybe it isn't that strong, maybe it's a bit dull for some people. I get it, because I thought that at first as well. This song was not on my radar for the whole of Sanremo. And then he ended up being chosen to do Eurovision, and I thought to myself, my God, I better give this song some, care and attention now, and I'm so glad I did. The music video is great as well. This is maybe the best written song of the year. But again, people talk about the lyrics the whole time. I see it on social media so often. The lyrics are great. Look at the lyrics. And I'm thinking, first-time listeners probably won't. They're not going to give a shite what this song is about, which is a real shame, I know. But the lyrics don't matter a great deal. But if they did matter a great deal, then this song would be right up there getting a lot of love. I wanted to be a tough guy who doesn't care about the future, a robot, a sumo wrestler, a drug dealer on the run from a wolf dog at Bologna station, a hen that lays golden eggs. It's very sort of lucid dream-like to me, this song. I'm nobody, though. I wasn't born with a tough face. I'm even afraid of the dark. If I get into a fight, I get beaten up, so they paint my eyes black. But I've never wasted time. It's time that has left me behind. Oh, that's great. That's just great. Living life is child's play. That's what my mum used to tell me as I fell from trees. How tough the world is for the ordinary ones who have little love around them or too much sun in their glasses. That's the chorus. Really, really great. It's a song about, wanting to be a tough guy, but at the end you're just yourself, and maybe there's nothing wrong with just being yourself. I'm hoping this isn't underrated. I'm really hoping this isn't underrated. It's a real dark horse, because this could finish in the top 10. Absolutely, it really could. So there we go. I'm leaving it there. Some dark horses / underrated gems of this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Now, there are other songs that I could have mentioned here. Absolutely. Let me just load up this page. I could have mentioned Slovenia. But in all honesty, I think that is not going to do incredibly well. I don't really see it as a dark horse. I could have mentioned Ukraine. But this is Ukraine we're talking about. They're bound to do quite well. And yes, maybe it is flying under the radar a bit. I could have included them in this list. I didn't. So yes, absolutely, Ukraine can be considered a dark horse. Could have mentioned Azerbaijan, maybe. Could have mentioned Montenegro, perhaps. Could have mentioned Serbia, perhaps. Could have mentioned the United Kingdom. Potentially, bit of a dark horse galloping in. But I'm quite happy with the songs that I selected, and feel free to let me know your thoughts on them by leaving a comment down below. I'll be back with more Eurovision related content fairly soon. I still need to do the 10 great national final songs of the season video. That's just taking a bit of time, but those videos hopefully will surface before the month is over, and then it is all systems go with looking ahead to Basel. That's it. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.